weeks ago, we issued a challenge to the entire audience for people to experiment to see for themselves. It had to do with the pyramid, rather with the power or benefits of pyramid energy if it exists. In the 1970s in Spain, we talked about it like this. The matter had become fashionable, that the specific proportions, the measurements, and the shape copied from the time of the Egyptians could specially preserve certain organic elements. That research was conducted by, and today we reveal it, our colleague Alberto Granados. Good evening.
How are you? Good evening.
Yeah. And you've also brought a gem. Well, Carmen retrieved it from our library. But I know you're thrilled because there's the book that started it all in Spain.
I believe this is an outset of desire for many collectors. The truth is that we have this book, The Magic Power of the Pyramids, which, as you well mentioned, in the 1970s caused quite a sensation. Because there were many people, I believe, who created a favorable opinion trend towards everything to conducting all kinds of experiments with pyramids, right? We said that in this book there was even an envelope included with a cardboard pyramid that you could assemble. Exactly. And here we have it with those measurements and proportions needed to build the pyramid, starting from its height, which is about 147 meters more or less, right? Well, from there, a whole movement of people emerged who were betting on doing different experiments with the pyramids, right? That has reached our days. We were in Alicante with Gabriel Silva. He has a company called Pyramicasa where they are dedicated to building pyramids so that one can rest in them.
Hey,
right?
and what did you see?
But the truth is that it surprised us a lot. They have been sleeping in these pyramids for a long time. He says that his life had changed thanks to the pyramids because he was quite sick, and thanks to being inside the pyramid, his life has changed. He says that that it is science, not magic like some. I think what is true is that there are few serious studies conducted on the power of the pyramids. Right now, there's a lot of research being done in Cuba. For example, some experiments have been done in Germany, but here in Spain, few experiments have been conducted, except for the ones we have here, right?
I don't know if it's science or belief rather, but the truth is that, some people think it has fixed their lives. Someday we will also talk about the placebo effect, which is a mystery. Believing that something does you good and actually having it do you good. But here we are not as always to say yes or no, but to check with our eyes what we have done. The challenge we set, as we said 2 weeks ago, with different elements that you are already seeing. But Alberto, one important thing. You saw pyramids of different sizes, some even for pets. You go underneath and supposedly tiredness and all that goes away. Supposedly.
So numbers, because they also had a formula they called the anti-pyramid, which is everything below the pyramid. So for dislocations, for some fractures, for some sprains, they would place the injured limb under that anti-pyramid, they call it, for 10-15 minutes, and they said it improved that way, right?
There is still a lot of theory, which we will address one day, about what the pyramids really are, because traces of the pharaohs were never really found. Some say there was never an official tomb, but the mystery now lies in the everyday, Alberto. So if you agree, let's observe what has happened. We quickly remind the audience, Alberto, that 15 days ago, you had different elements in 2 very different containers with a purpose to maintain more or less the same oxygenation characteristics, temperature, and we would see if the pyramid miracle is possible. That is, under the shape of the pyramid, the sacred pyramid of Cheops or the Great Pyramid, there were going to be substantial changes. We start with the most striking, which is the meat.
Yes, because of the meat. You also have to realize that it often depends on the proportions of the pyramid. In this case, we placed a piece of meat that was quite large for the size of the pyramids, but we did notice, for example, that in the one that was in a normal square, there are some areas where the meat is more putrid. And here, for example, we see it as if it's more mummified. Even if we get closer, it practically smells like it was. The meat inside the pyramid doesn't smell at all.
And that one, yes.
And that one really smells a lot. We can say it. In the case of the apples, there hasn't been much change in them, but it is true that they have told me that the antioxidant products they have now, the fruits make it very difficult for a fruit to spoil. Even if we leave it at home on top of a piece of furniture for 2 weeks, we will see that there is practically no change, right?
Perfect calculus, the second and everything, but the taste is another matter. It should have been tried with a fresh one. But here we have, Alberto, perhaps, at least the strangest thing, and what our organization colleagues will be detailing, because
yes, now we have noticed a difference. Yes, now we have seen that the one in the pyramid has grown a bit faster, but in more optimal conditions than the one inside the square. As we can see, some parts of it have even rotted there, and it looks much uglier with dark colors and so on, right?
Even the cotton, which is, it was a bean, a type of
Yes,
bean.
it was a bean.
Well, it is completely blackened. The mold has taken effect, and practically here it is. Well, very good, very good. White, that kind of tuber has grown from
It's
it.
growing even faster. And I must say that we've had it for was a short time, that it hasn't been in the best conditions, because this obviously needs to be in daylight. One of its sides always facing north, and depending on what's inside the pyramid, the size of the pyramid should be like that. For example, for a piece of meat like the one we have there, it should have been a much larger pyramid, right? But what is true is that there are followers of all this who say it works, and that, well, everything inside the pyramid has a special energy.
Well, you see it. We can't highlight much. We've simply thrown down the challenge, and now I hope people continue it, that you feel encouraged to do these things, and if you have any visual evidence, send it to us. The experiment. Thank you. As always, there will be many more. To our colleague Alberto Granados,